Hello everybody and welcome. It's time for another fantastic beading tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get Olympics ready with some fantastic flag inspired bracelets that you can wear to cheer on your team, your nation, whichever. I'm going to show you with I've got a UK one and a US one already ready to go. I am also going to show you how to use a sort of do-it-yourself pattern maker as well, in case you want to make some of your own. You can vary the width and whatnot. I'm going to show you the technique that is involved with making this, which is called right angle weave. And then, yeah, we're gonna sort of cover the whole process: how to do the clasp, how to do the technique itself, how to follow a pattern and whatnot. All of those things will be covered. But essentially, what we're going to be making today, which I have a partial version just here, is a really cool Team USA bracelet, or if you prefer, you can go with a Team GB bracelet like this one here. They're really, really fun, rich, look fantastic, and are great, not just for the Olympics, I guess, but you could wear them for any time you need to be doing something patriotic, I suppose. 4th of July in the US. The coronation would have been a good one, I guess. Bit late now, but you know. Just to mention as well, we do have a kit, a very fantastic kit available, which there's a link in the description. I'm also going to have a link in the description for my little pattern maker as well. Plus there's links for the patterns. But as I said, there's also a kit, which is linked in the description. If you want to go and grab it, it makes 4 pieces of jewelry, essentially. You've got your little kite, which you can do as a brooch, or if you wanted to do it in size 15s, makes for a fantastic little earring, for example. Could be very, very fun. Little kite earring there. There's also the red, white, and blue pendant necklace in the kit. There's the earrings as well, these earrings, which are quite fun. The, again, red, white, and blue. So applicable to both, well, to several nations, lots of them. New Zealand, Australia, the UK, US. I'm sure there's several others, which I'm not thinking about. Czech Republic, I guess. What other countries have red, white, and blue as their flag countries, I guess, colors? And then, yes, and then, of course, you'll make your various bracelets. That's in the kit if you want to go and check that out. But anyway, as I said, today we're going to be making the bracelet just here. So I'm going to show you the technique. I'm going to be using nice big beads on how to do that one. I'll also show you how you can draw your own patterns, of course. But yeah, it's up to you how you want to do it. And then I'll show you how you do the clasp at the very, very end. By the way, just to mention, if you wanted to learn how to do the kite, I already have a tutorial on our YouTube channel, which is also on the Bead Spider webpage, that you can just go and watch whenever, which this here is with size 10 Preciosa or size 11 seed beads. It's about the same. This is done with Delicas, and then the smallest one is with size 15 seed beads. So you can see you can change the size as per your desired size, I suppose. I just realized my picture's not up there in the left corner. There we are. I'm back. There we are. So anyway, yeah, if you want to learn how to make the kite, I do have that in another tutorial you can already watch. If you wanted to do like the dress, I'm going to change this. We do have a live tutorial on that, but I'm going to do a pre-record version fairly soon, I think. But again, you could have this one being, but anyway, these are tutorials that are already on the channel. Today, we're doing this. And to begin with, let's go and grab ourselves some lovely big beads just here. So I'm going to demonstrate with these almighty big ones, just to sort of teach you the technique itself. And then once we've sort of got that down pat, we can continue on using the smaller beads, and then I'll show you how to put on the clasp as well. So anyway, like I said, this one here, first things first, let's have a look at the pattern maker. So obviously, if you wanted to go and get the actual pattern from us, you can see they're sort of split like these into their various designs. But if you have which you can go and get those on the website. If you, though, instead want to make your own with our pattern maker, which there will be a link to that after the stream. It's very easy to do. You can turn it sideways, you can do it this way. It doesn't matter which way you want to do it, but I'm going to show you how you can come up with your design. So you don't have to do Olympic themed ones if you don't want to. You could do stripes, you could do geometric things, you could do words, like for example in this one, how it says USA. You could come up with a whole alphabet, which is something I intend on doing, actually. You could sort of come up with those sorts of things, put them on here, and figure those out. So if I zoom in just a teeny weeny bit, hopefully it will show nicely. You can see each one of the beads. There's a bead here, a bead here, a bead here, and a bead here. So this is the structure of right angle weave. So if you were making a piece of anything in right angle weave, this is how the beads all sit. So you can see with this, you can sort of do interesting things. Some of them lend themselves to nice, I'll do it over here on this right side. Like for example, here, this lends itself to a nice straight line. So you can see if you colored in, for example, one here, one here, one here, you can get really good straight lines like that. Alternatively, you can also get nice straight lines going either on the sort of upright ones like this here. Also, I should notice, you can also do your straight lines on the sideways ones. So you see how some of them sit sideways, some of them sit upright. You can sort of experiment and see what works better, but you can still get those same lines and structures and whatnot for your particular design. So for example, if you wanted to do horizontal, you could also do them just directly across. It's literally exactly the same. You could either do it like this, or you could do it like these ones, where the beads sit this way. To create those sort of things, if you wanted to make thicker stripes, you can always join the two together like this, and just sort of come up with ideas, color them in with colored pencil. And for example, if you wanted to write the word, so if we look at, for example, the stars section of our USA bracelet. So let's have a look at that. You can see horizontal, I've got red, white, red, white. So if we were to draw something like that, let's just see exactly how many beads we have. So if you have a look, see how there's this width here? So see how I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 little beads sticking out on the edge on this one. For example, on my UK one over here, I don't have as many as beads as that, but there are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 beads. You can sort of play with it to get the size that you want it to be. But essentially, if we were going to do like our USA one, the majority of it is blue, but if we have a look, it's got, let's just move my head out of the way, 9 beads worth. So I'm going to just color 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll leave 1 because this will be like a white section. Then we'll have like a red section. Then this one can be like a white, and then this one will be a red as well. So because we want it to be like double width, we can sort of go, here we go, there's some red here. This is giving me a nice sideways stripe, that we can do. Then we can do the same on here. So if you imagine the ones I haven't colored in, they're the ones I'm going to do in white. So let's just do this very, very quickly and come up with a nice little USA flag pattern like this. So we can say red, and then a stripe of white. So the blues will start here, and we don't really want any of our stars to be touching our little white section here. So if we kind of imagine, let's just say that we're making a piece that is inside here. Now, one thing to note, you always have to finish with beads sticking out. You cannot finish with these beads here. So see how these ones are sort of the wrong direction? You have to make sure that on if it starts on this side with them sticking out, it also has to be sticking out on the other side. These ones here, you won't be able to use just these without having that extra bead on the end. It's just how it works with right angle weave. You kind of don't have the choice. You have to have that one extra bead sticking out. So that's something to keep aware of. But essentially, if we wanted to make our little design, I'm going to start with just plain blue all the way up the first edge, because I find if you start with something simple along one edge, this one will be white, so don't color that in. If we start with something simple along the far edge, it makes beginning much simpler, and then you can make your pattern more complex as you continue on. So for example, on the next one, let's say we'll go a blue, blue, blue. Let's put a little white star there if we imagine one there. Put some blue here, put some blue here, put some blue here, here. This one can be a white star, and let's put some white, blue there. Then we'll go a whole row of blue ones, like here and here, plus here and here. And then maybe this time we'll have 3 white stripes. So we'll go, this one can be white just here. We'll color this one in. We'll have that one there be white. And we'll color this one in, and this one right here at the top can be white, and then you can literally just repeat the pattern. So by doing this, we can go like this here, and then we can pretty much just start over again by having 2 white ones. So look, so we'll have, like, I'll put a little cross through the white ones just so that you can see them. There's a white there, a white there. There's going to be a white here, a white here, a white here. So then if we're going to repeat that, you'd put a white here, you'd put a white here. And then if you continued along, there'd also be a white one here, a white one here, a white one here, and so on. And you can literally just repeat that, and that will give you that stars and stripe look. So you'll just have that lovely flag ready to go, and you can literally just continue on. So if we have a look, we'll use this as our little pattern sheet that we have. And we can just continue along going on this design here. So if you remember, we're going to do, there's 29 countries with red, white, and blue flags. So if someone wants to list all those countries, no, I'm joking. But anyway, this is going to be our little pattern just here that we're going to work with. So with that in mind, once we've designed our pattern, bear in mind, you don't have to do a flag. You can do whatever you want. It does not matter. But essentially, when it comes to doing the technique, let's start up here. So with right angle weave, to begin, we do little rows. So first things first, we're going to do them as little groups, if you will. So we're sort of going to split them. So the first row that we're going to do is going to be all of these beads here. So this is our first section that we're going to make, this part just here. And you can see that is going to consist of a little group of 4, and then another group of 4, another group of 4, all sort of chained to each other like that until you get to the end. So the list is there. Jermaine has put the list up. I'm going to show it. Oh my goodness. This is a long list. These are all the countries that would be applicable to red, white, and blue. So if you live in one of these places, this kit could be for you if you wanted to. So there's yet more. Here we go. These are the last of them. So anyway, I'm not going to read them all out. Take me too long. So yeah, now that we have this little pattern just here, let's start creating it. So we have our first block, which is going to be this one. We've just decided that we're going to do it like a chain. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to pick up 4 little beads. So that is going to work out as this bead. Actually, I'll give them numbers. 1, this will be number 2, this will be 3, and this will be 4. This is meant to be a 1. Just pretend that that says 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we do that now, I'll grab myself my big beads and my cord. It's nice and easy because this just starts with blue beads. So very, very simple to begin with. And so if we just grab ourselves, I'm going to show you with bead and needle a bit later on. But if we just use our big beads, I've got a nice thick cord so you can see what I'm doing. We're going to pick up 1, 2, 3, and 4 little blue beads. And I'm going to just slide those down my cord like so. And to create that little sort of square of beads, all you have to do is just loop back and pass through the very first bead. And as you pull that tight, you'll soon see that it creates that nice little square shape. See it there? Like that. So that's literally exactly like this. See that? And if you imagine, this is bead number 1, 2, 3, and 4 like this. So if we say we're exiting, I'll turn this upside down just because that's the direction I'm going to work in. So if we put this here, I will work now. We're going to do our next section. So that would be, if you imagine we're exiting from the top over here, from this little bead, this side here. So from here, we're going to go and add in our first bead. So 1 will be here, 2 will be here, and then the third bead will be here. And then to create that same little square, we're going to go back through this bead that was at the bottom of this one here. So if we have a look, we can now grab, again, they're all blue beads. So we're going to pick up 1, 2, and 3, and we slide them on down. And if you have a look, keep this nice and tight, we're going to loop around and through the other side of this bead that was the sort of the join of the other one. And as you pull that tight, it creates a second little square of beads sitting directly above this. And now what we need to do, because we want to be able to do this next little group, we need to make sure that we weave our little cord until we're exiting from this bead, which is sort of the topmost one we've added so far. So if we just grab our thread once more, we can just go up the edge of this bead, just literally follow the exact same path. Follow your own path. No, this isn't one of those, the little book of calm. Follow your own path. No, we're doing beading instead. So now let's go up through this top little bead just here. And there we go. You can see we're now exiting from that little bead right here at the top. So now, if you have a look, we're exiting from this side. So now we're going to go through this one first. So this will be number 1. Then this one will be number 2. And this one number 3. See? 1, 2, 3. So again, we're just working with the blue beads. It's pretty easy so far, right? Then we go 1, 2, and 3 little blue beads. And once again, we're going to loop around and pass through the other side of the same bead. And as you pull that tight, there you go. There's the next one. We have to do the same process of making sure that we are exiting from the very endmost bead. So we go up through here, pull that tight, and then into the top one. Pull that tight there. And there you go. This is going to add on our third little square now, see? So now we have 3. So now if we look again, we're exiting from this side. So you'll notice every time, if it was exiting this side, the next time you'll be exiting the other side. Then the other, then the other, then the other, back and forth the whole way, all the way through. So now we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And then once we've done that, we're going to exit from that bead right at the very top. So again, let's pick up 3. 1, 2, 3 little blue beads. 1, 2, and 3. And once again, exactly the same as before, we're going to pass through into the other side of that bead, pull it tight, keep my thread out of the way from the other project, and then we're going to weave up the edge till we're exiting from that bead, which you can flip your work over if you want to. You just have to keep track of how many times you've flipped it so that it matches your pattern. You know what I mean? So just go like this, and up into the end bead. And if you want to just check which way you flipped it, you can always just test, sort of, as it were, by, get it nice and firm there, by pulling, by going, oh, which one did we do first? One, okay, so this side we did it last time. That means we need to turn it over. And then this side, it's going to be now 1, 2, and 3. So last time we're going to pick up 3 blue ones. And we're getting there now. So we're plugging along and we're adding in that first row. It's not taking too long. Obviously, if you had thread and needle, you could do this much quicker than trying to do it with these ginormous big beads and this ginormous big thread. But let's now continue. Pull that nice and tight up the edge into the top and into this endmost bead just here and pull it tight. So there you go. That's sort of our next little group. And now we're going to do the next one. So this time we're exiting over here. We're going to be using just white ones. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to pick up a white, then a white, then a white. So if I grab myself 3 little white ones, you can continue just adding the beads as per your little pattern. So see, 1, 2, 3. And then you'll see once we get to the end of this row, so we just do the same little process every time. Pull it tight. And then I'm going to just turn it over so that I can weave up the edge. Just because I find that that's easier to do. 1, 2. And then now if we have a look, we got 1, 2, and 3. They're all red this time. So now let's pick up some of those little red beads. 1 second. Here we go. It's a bit better. Now my pattern's not in the way. So we're going to pick up 3 red ones, which, as we continue, we've got 1, 2, 3 red ones. And see, we're exiting this side, loop through the other side. Like that. Pull all the way through, and then up to the top. 1. So now we've just got to do 1 more set of stripes of each. So we'll do 3 white ones and then 3 red ones, because that's our pattern. So if you want to check it one more time, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, like this. So let's do these next 3 white ones, and then we're going to finish off with our 3 red ones. 1, 2, 3. That's going to complete the first row of our little pattern. So we're exiting this side, loop around and back into the other side of the bead so that you're essentially coming back out where you started from. And if I turn it over very, very quickly, there we go, up the edge, into the top, and we're pretty much just got to add on 1 last little group of reds, and we've done our first little row, which will be matching our pattern. So now let's just do 1 last one. So if you have a look, we're going to do 1, 2, and 3. So now let's pick those up. 1, 2, and 3 red beads. Just there. Slide them on down. And then all the way through the other side. Pull tight. And now this time, we're going to do something ever so slightly different. So because this time, we don't need to be adding more beads onto the end. We're going to add on our next row, and it needs to sit along this edge here, right? So the way that we're going to do that, we want to add on these beads over here. If you think about the shape of your little groups of 4, right? Each of those little groups of 4, if you have a look, there's 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and this bead here sort of joins this group of 4 to the next sort of group. So this group of 4 and this group of 4, it's this line of beads that are joined to sort of bring the 2 lines connected to each other. So what we're going to do, we're going to exit from this bead so that we can work sideways to do this little row here. Now, these beads have already been added. So when we come back down, we're only ever going to need to add these beads here. So see that? If you imagine, these are the beads that we're about to add. Everything else has already been added. So we added 3 rows at the beginning. Now we're just going to add rows of 2 this time. So first things first, because we want to be exiting from the side so that we can go sideways, we can go up the edge just here. We don't need to go to the top. Just here is enough. And if we have a look, we're exiting from this top side. So let's write down our numbers. If we have a look, the first one, because we're exiting here and we always go around our circles like this, the first bead will be this one. So this will be 1, this will be 2, and then this one will be 3, just here. And then we're going to loop back into this one where we started, okay? So it's pretty much exactly the same, but this time we're sort of working sideways. So if you have a look now, number 1 is a red, number 2 is a red, and number 3 is a white. So you pick up 1, then you pick up whatever's number 2, and then you pick up whatever is number 3. See that? So that is going to allow us to make sure our pattern is exactly correct each time. So if we just now pass up that edge, like so, we can pull that tight. And lo and behold, look at that. We've got our beads in the exact right spot we need them to be. But now we want to continue along adding more beads. So what do we need to do? So as we would usually do, you want to be exiting from the bead that's sort of closest to where you need to add beads. We need to add beads down here. So where's the bead we want to be exiting from? This one right down here. So that will allow us to start working in this way. But if you have a look, you're going to go, oh, something's a bit odd here, but don't worry. I'm going to explain that as well. So let's go down this one here so that it is nice and tight. Then we're going to go down the one beside. So literally follow the exact same path that we just did when we added those beads. And now into that little bead at the very, very end, just here. And if I pull that tight, it should sit nicely like this right here. So now what we're going to do, if you have a look, we're adding in, if you have a look, we've added in all these groups. We need to add in, it's this little group of 4 just here. See that? So we already have this bead added. We already have this bead added, but we don't have these 2 beads. So what we're going to do, if you have a look, we're exiting from this side. So usually what would happen, you'd say, okay, I'm exiting from this bead right here, right? So what I need to do, I'm exiting from this side, so I need to add this bead. But wait a minute, we already have that bead. You don't need to add it in. You just pass directly straight through it. So look, there it is on the edge of our work. We can just grab our little thread just here, and we're going to go straight down that little edge bead of the row previous. So see how that joins our work to each other? And now if we have a look, we're now exiting from this bead just here. So what we need to do is pick up 1, then 2. We already have this bead here, so we'll go back into this, and we want to exit right back down here into number 1 so that we're in position to start adding our next row. So if we look at, it's a red followed by a white. So let's pick up 1 red because that's number 1, followed by 1 white, which is number 2. And you loop back around through this bead and back through this bead, back to where we started. Pull it tight. And there's our next little group of 4. See that? There's that group of 4. But we want to get into position to add our next row. And just weave into that bottom one just here to get yourself nicely into position. So now if we want to add in our next bead, if we take a look, we're exiting from this side now. So that means we need to pick up this one. So this will be number 1. This will be number 2. Then we've got to go into this bead, which we've already added. And then we need to come back to where we began so that we're exiting from here again. So let's pick up number 1, which is a red, followed by a number 2, which is white. So 1 red, 1 white. And then we want to complete that little square. So if you imagine it, just looking at it here, this is the top, here's one side, we need one for the bottom and one for the other side. So up this little edge just here, pull that all the way through, and now we need to go back to where we began. So that's through this bead at the top here, pull that through. Whoops, nearly pulled that. But again, we want to make sure that we're adding our next beads. So let's just weave on down to the bottom of this little group that we just added. So through this first bead and into this second one. And we're in position now to add our next right angle weave. So if we look at our pattern again, you can see we're now exiting from this little bead here. This is the last one that we added in. So we're exiting from here, but we're exiting on this side. So we would go, because we're adding in this little group of 4, we need to go from here. Oh, look, we've already added this, so we can go straight through it. Then we need to pick up one blue one, and number 2 is the white one. So we're going to go through this bead down the edge, just here. Then we're going to pick up, number 1 is a blue, then number 2 is a white. So let's go a blue, followed by a white, like so. And because we want it to loop back around, we need to go all the way back into the top of this little right angle weave. So we're going to add a bead here, back into here, back into where we began this little step, pull it all the way through. And where do we need to be when we want to be adding on our next row? That's right, we need to be at the very sort of edge bead towards where we're going. So we're going to pick up one little bead. We're going to go through that one there, pull tight, and just follow that process all the way down until you get to the very, very end. So once again, we're exiting from this side of this bead, just here. So we're going to pick up one blue, then number 2 is another blue, and then we're going to go into this edge bead and back. So this time, it's all blues, blue and a blue, into, whoops, keep them both on my thread if I can do. There we go. Thread them on down. And this one here is going to be the next edge bead. So loop through that one there. And you can even do them both at the same time if you wanted to. Back to where we started with this step. Pull it through. And there's the next one. Now we need to get to this bead. But as you'll know now, because we're exiting from this side, the bead that we need next is already there. So you may as well just go straight down it right now so that you're coming out of that next edge bead that we needed. Pull it tight. And then we can add on our next little beads. So now, where are we? We're exiting. So we just did this one, this little group here, and we've gone through here. We're adding this group now. And so we've gone from here. We're already coming out the edge. This is bead number 1, this one here. And then this white one is bead number 2. So we'll pick up a blue, then a white. And this will be our first of our stars. So one blue and one white. How are we finding this, by the way? Who has never done right angle weave before? Like sort of single needle right angle weave. Has anyone never done it before? Also, where is everybody watching from? I want to know where you all are. Tell me whereabouts in the world you are from. So there we go. We've added that in, and now we need to exit it from the bottom one just here as well. So through that last little bead, pull it tight. There we go. And now let's do the next one. So we've done these beads here. We're now exiting from here. So we need to go 1 and 2. So they're both blue ones. 1. Debbie's from Devon. She says, hello from Devon. She's watching on Facebook. Thanks for joining us, Debbie. In case you didn't know, we're live both on Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. So anyway, let's now go through the next one. We've added on our beads, which were 2 blue ones. Monica says, I've never done it before. I'm amazed, Monica, that you've never done flat right angle weave with one needle before. I've seen some of the amazing netted beadwork that Monica has done. I think you can even see a picture of one on her Facebook profile picture there, which is of her wearing a fantastic netted necklace just here. She said, I've never done it before, but clearly she's made lovely complex things before, as you can see. Curtis is from Minnesota. Glad you could join us. Marlena also says she's never done it, but she didn't tell me where she's from, so I can't give you a shout out as to where you're from. Jane is from Llanelli in South Wales, UK. Who else have we got? Where are my YouTubers? I want to know. All right, so now let's do our next one. So we've just done this one here. We are now exiting towards this side, so we're going to just go straight through this bead, then we're going to pick up a blue, then a white, 1 and 2, like that. So down the edge, just here, through there, pull it tight. And then what's the first bead we need to pick up? So a blue, then a white. So let's pick those up right now. I tell you, I'm like shifting ever so slowly, left and left and left, right rather. Let's just pick up. So first it's a blue, then it's a white, loop back through that first bead and back to where we are starting from. Pull tight. There's the next one. Go into that edge bead. And now we'll add on our last little one, which if we have a look, we're exiting from this side here now. So we're going to pick up a 1, then we're going to pick up 2 and weave around. But when we finish with this one, we don't need to add more beads here. Where do we need to add more beads on? We need to add more beads on at this point. So we're going to exit from this bead here. So now let's just keep my tail thread out of the way. Let's pick up those 2 blue beads. So 1 and 2, slide them on down and back through that bead to sort of continue that circle shape once again. There we go. Pull that through there. Get that nice and tight. And that completes our second little row of right angle weave. Now, obviously, this looks like a big higgledy-piggledy-jiggledy mess. That is because I'm using these giant beads and they have massive holes. With seed beads or delicas or whatever you want to use, it'll be much, much neater. Oh, by the way, I should mention, we have a seed bead sale on this weekend. If you haven't noticed, there's up to 20% off on our entire range of Preciosa seed beads, Mayuki seed beads, and Toho seed beads. So if you want to go and get some of those, they are on sale for this weekend only. Okay. So now that we've done this, we're going to weave into position to where we would need to be. I'm going to finish off and go on to the seed beads in a second, but just for this last little one here, because we would need to add beads out this side direction, you can just pull that through there, and there you are. You have your next one in position, and if we were going to do it, you can see we're exiting from this outer side here. So we're exiting from this little bead right at the end, right here. We need to add on the beads of a right angle weave. And if you have a look, we're going to be making this right angle weave, then this one, then this one, then this one, and so on. So we only will be adding the beads of these rows in here, from here to here. So I'm not going to do these on the actual pattern, but if you were to look, you would say, okay, here's number 1, here's number 2, here's number 3, like that. And you would just pick them up and then get ready to continue as you would, as usual. Last one, I'll add that in and loop all the way around. Get that nice and tight. And last time, as we would need to do, because we need to continue weaving in this direction, you would just weave through, up the edge, through there, into here. And now it's literally exactly the same as when we did it on the way back. This one here, you'd go through that bead and add on one there. Then your bead would be coming out here. So you'd add one here, then add one here, all the way down, following the work, your little pattern here. So every single time, essentially, you can just explode your pattern, if you will, into these little groups. So this is the next section here. Then you'll do this next section here. and then this section, and then finally you'll add this section here. And you can see, because this ends here, see we've got 2 little stars. No, this one's with 3 stars. You can then jump back and repeat from this one just here, I think it is. Where is it? There's a 3. Yeah, you would just jump straight back into where there's the group of 2. There it is. So you just repeat this. One over here. Where is it? Yeah, back to here, sort of thing. I mean, I've made a giant mess of it, but essentially you can just repeat here when you've got your 3. Well, I mean, also here works, sort of thing. So if you have a look, there's a 3, then a 2, then a 3, then a 2, then a 3, then a 3, and so on, so that your work stays lovely and symmetrical all the way. You just sort of repeat your pattern, repeat your pattern, repeat your pattern, until you end up with a lovely big section like this one right here. And then it's literally the exact same process, but with the needles. So I'll show you extremely briefly, because we've just gone through the whole technique with the with these fellas here. So I'll just show you, just to show you that it is exactly the same process. Where's my beading needle? Here it is. And I'll do 1 row, and then I will add on the clasp. So if we just grab my scissors, and I will chop off a little bit of thread there, because I don't need so much. Thread through here. Through the eye of your needle. And then it's literally the exact same process once again to add our next row. So in this particular one, we're going to firstly grab our little, where am I at? Just here. My blue seed beads, white and red seed beads. So you can see, if you grab the kit, you'll get these lovely blue ones, you'll get these lovely red ones, and you'll also get the opaque red, white ones, which you can see, these are silver lined so that they have this lovely, rich, popping red hue to them. But when they catch the light, they really, really shimmer. So just very, very quickly, let's grab out some of those beads onto the table, and I will show you how you can continue on and how to add your clasp. Which, of course, if you get our kit, it comes with full instructions, and the full instructions have all the diagrams too. So you can see, here's the process here. It follows the whole thing through with your diagrams there, showing you the entire process of how to do it. Plus, of course, it includes the patterns for both USA and UK for all of the different projects. So it's got like 6 different things in it. Many, many things in that one there. So anyway, this one here, let's just do this very, very quickly. A blue, a white, and a blue. Loop around. Actually, do you know what? It's, well, do I want to? I don't really want to, because I've got it at like the perfect point to... No, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I will do it as I promised. So we'll go through there, thread your beads on, and look at that. They make a lovely little right angle weave just here. And once again, we're going to go up the edge into the bead beside and the one at the top as well. And if we have a look, this little fella is now sort of sitting, if you have a look, in position. But where do we go? Straight up the edge of the next one. So pull that through. Try not to get your thread looped too much. And pull tight, which I recommend. If you pinch it with your fingers like this, it makes it much, much easier to keep it nice and neat. So now we're going to pick up 2 blue ones. We're going to loop back through this one just here, which is that bottom of that previous right angle weave, back to where we are starting from. Try not to get caught on the edge of your table. Pull tight. And into this little topmost bead here. I'm going to get annoyed if it keeps catching on the table. I tell you, what am I doing with myself? There we are. There's the next one. So now we are going to add on our next little group of beads. So this time we're going to pick up a white and a blue. And we're going to loop back through the edge bead here into where we started from, pull tight. And now if you have a look, we want to exit from here, then here. And this one is part of our next little right angle weave. So we're going to go through all 3 of those beads simultaneously just to make our lives a little bit easier. Like that. Now we're going to pick up 2 blue ones, 1 and 2, through both of those. Pull tight. And back into this edge. If you notice, if you want to keep a nice firm tension, you can pinch your thread between your thumb, your index and middle finger. And that just sort of helps to keep that tight as you're going through. So now let's pick up 1 white, 1 blue, go back through the edge bead, pull tight, back to where we started, through that middle one, pull tight. Angelica says, so pretty. I'm glad you like it. So now we're going to go through here, then here. And because we need to go into that edge bead, it's part of our next right angle weave. We'll pull that tight. And now if we're here, we want to add on our white stripe. So let's pick up 2 white ones, 1, 2. And we're going to loop back through the bead, which is at the bottom of this right angle weave, pull tight. And there's the next one through that bead at the top of that little right angle weave. Then I didn't get them out. 2 red beads. I forgot them. And I'm going to just jump ahead and show you how to add the clasp after this. So this is our final row before we get to the clasp. Of course, don't forget, if you want to go and get the pattern or if you want to get some seed beads on sale, you can do that from the website. There's plenty of links there in the description. Pull tight. There's that one there. And we're going to just continue this process. There's only 2 more to go. So these ones are 2 white ones. 1, 2. Loop back. And through here. And our last one now. Through here. And now 2 red ones. And loop back here. Through that one. And pull tight. So there we are. That's going to give us like an edge. I mean, I wouldn't really want to. I wouldn't want to end it with the stars at the end. And what ideally, I would recommend that you finish with a nice big blue section or something like that, just to make it a bit prettier. But I'm going to do a temporary clasp. So the clasp that you will get in your kit to make this little fella is a 3-strand magnetic clasp. Now these clasps, which they are, there is a link in the description if you want to go and get them. They are great little clasps. So see how they have 3 little loops on one side, 3 little loops on the other, and it just slides out like this here. So see that? It's like this little bar section, and you can see there's like a hollow channel inside of it. And so there's a tiny magnet in here. There's also a tiny magnet inside there at the base. You can just see it in there. So all you have to do is just slide this inside here, and then once it reaches a certain point, it just clips into place like that, and you have your lovely clasp ready to go. So let's just do one side at a time, and we're going to go and add on our beads just here. So now if you have a look, you can figure out which ones are best as per your loop. We have lots of little edge beads that we can connect to. But basically, we can weave ourselves around until we're exiting from any of these little loop beads. So because we want it to be relatively central, I think looking at this one, I could potentially go with maybe this little red one, this little blue one, sort of figure it out. It doesn't matter too much, but the technique that I'm going to show you is quite useful because you can use it to, it will have enough flexibility to allow you to sort of choose, pick and choose, and it's not going to matter too much. It's not going to be entirely crucial as to which one you're exiting from. So let's just weave ourselves down. So without adding in any beads, just follow the path of your right angle weaves. And let's go into this one here. And we'll go down. And look, here's the next right angle weave. Just follow the path of that right angle weave. Just here. And let's try and exit from, say, this little red one here. Why don't we? So you can go up this edge, just here. And into this one, just here. And now what we're going to do, we're going to attach that to the first of these loops. So the easiest way to do that is, well, this is on a nice red stripe. You can do it with blue beads. You can do it with whatever color you want. It doesn't even matter how many beads you use to do this process. You can use 2, you can use 3, you can use 4. It's up to you. The more beads you use, the more flexibility you will have in the positioning. But also at the same time, the longer it will become, and it's kind of a balance between stability and flexibility. So I'm going to go with 3. You can do 2, you can do 4. It's up to you. But we're going to go through that first little loop of our clasp, like so. And make sure your beads don't go through the loop. We're going to slide them back out of the way like this. Get them down towards where we're going. And we're going to just go straight back down those beads, but through the other side of that same little bead. So see, we've gone straight back down. We're exiting from this side. Let's go back into the other side now. And as you pull tight, you'll see if you hold on to the clasp, I'll just put my needle down over here. If we just pull, see, it's like a little loop like this. You can just pull, 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 pull. And that's going to just create like this little string, as it were, like a little thin line of beads that we can then go back and reinforce again to make it extra secure, because you don't want to just do it once. I mean, actually, I'm going to do it once because I'm going to take this off so I can make it my size, because I think it's really fun. But what I would recommend is you go back up, back down, into the other side. You can even do it a third time if you want to. And then once you've done that, we're going to weave across. We're going to skip one bead, and we're going to go right into that most central bead. So down this one here, and pull tight. Hi from Selena in California. Glad you could join us. I hope you like my little USA bracelet that we're doing here. Of course, you can do it in any other nation as well if you want to. I'd love to see the sort of designs people are going to come up with. I've been trying to come up with other designs for my my little kite just here. I did an Australian version of my kite just this morning, which I think I'm going to make for myself to wear during the Olympics. Or maybe, even though my girlfriend's English, I'll force her into wearing an Australia one for when we invariably watch every single event that ever existed in the entirety of the Olympics, because that's how I do it. So anyway, let's go down this one here, across now into the top here. And remember how I said we wanted to skip one end bead and go into the next one? Well, that's this right angle weave that we're exiting from right now. So I'll just go into that bead just here. And then this is going to bring me up into this bead. It doesn't matter if you're exiting from the top or the bottom of the bead, but essentially what you do, position this, and we're going to join this now here. So I'll grab 3 little blue ones because I did 3 just before with the red. So let's go 3 with the blue. We're going to put them on here, slide them down my thread a bit. We'll go through the loop of the metal of our clasp. And then if I lay it down, maybe it'll make it a bit easier. We can go back now through the 3 blue beads. And remember, see how we're exiting from that side of the bead? Let's go into the other side now, like so. Pull, 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 just like this. Try and get it all the way through. There we go. And that's going to add that next little join, like so. And now, again, as I said, you would want to go back through 1, 2, 3 times like that. And now this time, I'm going to just weave around. We're going to skip a bead and go into this one here, because that's going to make it nice and central. So pull tight, and then we go up and along. And don't get it caught, which can be very fiddly. There we go. Down this one here. And the one at the bottom of this right angle weave. Can I do them both at the same time? No. One at a time. Let's be patient and try not to be overzealous, shall we say, in my speediness, my requirement for speediness. Because the thing is, the only person that you will be stuffing up when you I'm trying to remember who it was. My nanny used to say, too much, less haste, more speed. So this is one of those prime examples. Here we go. Where if you just take your time, you'll get a much better result. 1, 2, 3 beads. Let's go up through this one. Get it in position. And back through the 3 beads, just there. And we're going to go into the other side of this little bead here, like so. And just pull, 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 pull until it's nice and tight. And you can see that even though the holes aren't exactly where we need them to be in terms of where they join to this little thing, by doing this one, by having 3, it gives it the flexibility to sort of taper in at the edge, and then this one can be dead straight. And lo and behold, this is now perfectly in the center of my little bracelet work. So you get a very clean finish for doing that. And then there you go. You would just do that. Once you've got your bracelet to the perfect length of your bracelet, you would strap it like this. And once this is, just imagine that this was long enough, you'd weave, 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 and then join the other side in the exact same way like this, so that you can attach the two to each other. And then you have your lovely bracelet, which can then just be slipped open like this. And then when you want to go to put it on, you would just slide it back on like so. And it's very, very easy to get off and on. But the thing is that it doesn't just come off, if you know what I mean. Like this direction, it's got the strength of the metal keeping it together. But the magnet is only to prevent it from just popping open like this and sliding off, which is very, very difficult to happen. But anyway, that is going to cover it for my little tutorial today. I will show you the kit and the sale just very quickly. So make sure you don't run away just yet, which if we just have a little look today at the Bead Spider website, which is here. So if you click the link on the description, it'll take you to the exact page you need to be. But if you are very, very quick, if you're watching live right now, and today is Friday, the 19th of July, 2024, just before the Paris Olympics, you have until Sunday, which will be the 21st of July, 2024, if you want to go and get yourself some bargains on some seed beads. So, for example, these Preciosa, if you want to get Preciosas, which is what I've been using to make this little piece just here, you can click on that. There's lots and lots of different shapes of Preciosa. The size 10 are the ones I've been using. They are the most popular, but we do also have 8s and 6s over here if you want to get them. But anyway, if you have a look, there you go. Look at that. They are all on discount. If you want to go and get yourself some Miyukis instead, you can click from the homepage, shop Miyuki, and there they all are. If you want to have a look, Miyuki size 11s are going to be very, very similar size to the size 10 Preciosas. You can just go and get those, whichever ones take your fancy. Again, they're on sale. If you want to get your Delicas, those are also on sale, which, as I said before, the 3 different sizes. I used 3 different sizes when I made my kite, for example. The 15s I made it in, and I made it in 11s, and I made it in Delicas as well. So you can see the difference in those sizes. But anyway, and then, of course, if you want to go and get your Toho ones, there's 11s or 15s. And then there you go. Look, 20% off. Just add them to your basket. They're all on sale there too. So those are those. If you want to get the kit for today's tutorial, though, from the homepage, you just scroll down a teensy-weensy bit where it says DIY Olympics Bracelet. You can just click on the big picture or click the link which is in the description there where you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, whatever. If you just click on that, it will take you to the page where, first of all, you can watch the tutorial. So if you miss the beginning, you can come back here and watch it in 3 days' time, 4 days' time, whenever you want, just before the 4th of July next year. If you want to make the kite tutorial, by the way, watch the kite tutorial. There's a button for that, and it will take you to where you can learn to make these little kite fellas. But anyway, the kit is this one just here. It is 15% off, and it makes 4 different projects. So if we have a look, if I make this a little bigger, it makes 1 bracelet. So you can do your USA or you can do your Union Jack. It makes 1 little kite. So you can do your USA or your Union Jack again. Or, because I'm going to make an Australia one, I'm going to put that as an availability and whatnot. And then you've also got your pendant and your 2 different earrings, which are both applicable to USA or UK, so you can have either one. But anyway, all 4 of those projects for just £16.99, or if you are in the US, which you can change your currency up here in the corner, if it isn't automatically in the correct currency for you, $23, and you make 4 little projects there. So that works out somewhere in the region of about just under $6 per little project there. So yeah, very, very good value, has everything in there. But anyway, if you come back to this page, if you want to just get the patterns, you can get the little kite pattern. You can get your USA bracelet on its own. You can get the Union Jack if you want. We've got seed beads. We've got delicas. All of these things are just here. If you come on down, 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 the clasp is there, the 3-strand clasp. There's ear wires. Brooch backs, again, that's for the little kite. And just to show it to you, ready? Watch the kite tutorial. If you click that big button, you can also use the search bar here and just type kite and it'll come up. But anyway, Team GB brooch tutorial. Just press play, and then while we wait for the first few seconds, it goes, hey, we're making this lovely little thing, and then, hey, here's me, and it shows you the entire process on how you do it, beginning to end, all the way there. If you want to go and watch that, and it's only about 15 minutes, 16, there you go, 15 minutes and 47 seconds. If you want to go and watch that, you can watch it straight on the Bead Spider YouTube channel, or on our page. So yeah, go check out those things. Also, last thing to be on sale, many things are going off sale this Sunday. This lovely Magnolia bracelet, if you want to get this kit, each kit makes 3 bracelets, 15% off. So again, here's the tutorial. Scroll down, you can get the pink, 15% off. You can get the jade, 15% off. Blue, black, whichever one. Choose your currency as well. They're all right there. Plus all of the different findings and thread and whatnot. And if you want to get twin beads, just have a look around. Go check out things. Go see what takes your fancy. They're all just there, chilling on our website for you to go and grab whenever you fancy them. So anyway, if you want to make the most of the sale, though, you have until Sunday. The Olympics jewelry set, though, will be on sale an extra week beyond that. So actually, maybe I'll leave it on sale even longer just because the Olympics are on. I'll leave it during the Olympics, I guess. But I'm intending to do, because I've done my UK and my US, I'm going to make some ready-made patterns similar to our UK and US ones. I'll make fully fledged finished patterns. I'm going to do, I might do in Australia. I'll do like a Spain and a Germany. I'll try and do Canada. I've come up already with a Canada version of this fella, and I've done a South Africa one, and I'll do a South Africa bracelet. So keep an eye out for those. I'm planning to put them on the website just as little things you can go and get so that you can be Olympic as well. So you can get involved. But anyway, thank you all very, very much for watching. It's going to be a pre-record for the next few weeks because I'm going to be away next weekend. Not next weekend. In 2 weeks' time, I'm going to be away. So I won't be back for the live. It will be a pre-record, but there's a pre-record coming next Friday. There's a pre-record the week after. There's a pre-record the week after that. So there will be tutorials coming every week. And then I'm going to do my next live in about 4 weeks' time. So I will, if you haven't got our subscription to our email list, make sure you hit that little button in the link that says join the newsletter, because then you will also be notified via email when those will be. If you've never subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you hit the little subscribe button and the bell so you get the notifications. I think we're almost at 66,000. Maybe it's almost 67. I can't remember now. So hit that little button. Facebook, give our page a like. We've also got a Facebook group that you can join so that you can share your pictures. So go and make your own little DIY Olympics bracelets and then send us some pictures of what you make, because I would love to see them in our Facebook group. So go and check out all those links as per usual if you haven't done so. But anyway, thank you all very much for joining me. I hope you had lots and lots of fun making your Olympic inspired bracelets. But I will see you again next time. Thanks for joining me, and see you later. Bye-bye.